Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Give it up for Lego Transformers 2007 Optimus Prime version 2.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Now my boy Optimus here is a pretty big boy. Okay, he's coming in at a good 12 inches long in his vehicle mode. 12 inches? Bro, that's a foot long.
Nani?
Precisely. But not only is the size colossal, so is the build time. Bro, this build is coming in at a little over 70 hours of build time. 7-0. That's damn near 3 days, bro.
Oh my god!
So as you can see, this ain't easy. But on a side note though, if you guys are interested in having me build your favorite Lego Transformers or Lego mechs and reviewing them on the channel here, consider becoming a Super Say. The membership link for that is in the description. Or if you too build Lego Transformers or Lego mechs and would like to share your work, you should definitely pop into my Lego Mech Facebook group. The link to that is in the description as well. Okay, now back to Prime here. So even though this build took more than 70 hours to construct, unfortunately, it's not perfect. The front portion of the vehicle mode right here, specifically the nozzle section from right here downward, actually gets removed during transformation.
Huh?
Hold up though, let me clarify. If I did want this guy to transform all in one piece, nozzle included, he could actually still do it. The front portion of the truck right here would just end up on the back portion of his legs, which is actually kind of crazy considering how far apart they are. But this model of Optimus Prime right here is actually based off of the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Studio series model, where the front portion of the vehicle mode forms part of the legs and the back portion forms the rest.
Oh.
Okay, so if you could have made it transform without taking off the front of the truck anyway, why didn't you make it transform without taking off the front of the truck, bro? No, but you see, you didn't let me tell you what happened. Alright, so what had happened was I finally finished building the front portion of the legs here. They look clean, I'm hype. So I move on to the back portion, which is gonna be the nozzle. Finally finished building the nozzle after a couple of hours. Come to find out, I transformed the thing and it just makes the back of his legs look way too bulky. So at this point, I'm like, damn, because we already at like hour 55 and I'm not finna revamp the whole thing at this point. So I'm just spending hours looking for ways on how I could just collapse the front of the truck down a little bit more so it could stay hidden behind the back of the legs. And it just wasn't working, bruh. So I say all that to say the mechanics are actually still built in there to where the front of the truck can move to the back of his legs in his robot mode. But since it made the legs look so unpleasant, I kind of just opted to remove the front portion of the truck during transformation. Okay, so problem solved, right? Not really, because now I was tight. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you, I was tight, bro, because I built the whole good looking vehicle mode and a whole good looking robot mode, but then the front of the truck just get placed on the side during transformation. Like, bruh. Honestly, it just felt dusty. And we don't do dusty on the Lego Say channel, okay? Well, I mean, you know, I did have them dusty days back in the day, but those are behind me now. So I said, you know what? I'ma finesse it. If I'm gonna have to take a piece off, I'm gonna make it transform into an accessory so that it still counts as it being part of the transformation. And this is actually something that's done with some of the official figures, most notably Transformers The Last Knight Megatron, where the whole front portion of his jet mode just turns into a giant shield in his robot mode.
Wow.
So I'm like, alright, I'm gonna make this joint turn into a shield and that's it. Bro, tell me how I'm there for 4 hours trying to make this joint turn into a shield and I couldn't make it turn into a shield. So I'm like, you know what? It's side though, because I'm gonna make it turn into a battle axe instead. You feel what I'm saying? Bro, tell me how I'm there for 4 hours trying to make it turn into a battle axe and I couldn't make it turn into a battle axe. Bruh. Alright, so you see we just lost 8 hours there. So now we stressed. So I said, you know what? I'ma have to pull a Jimmy Neutron right now, bro.
One thing. Brain blast!
So after the brain blast, I realized this is too square and too bulky to transform into one thing. So I'll make it transform into two things. I'm gonna try to make it transform into 2 massive arm cannons. And I think it's safe to say that it worked. Can I get a yeah boy please? Because that's advance.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, now that we've gotten past that crazy story, let's talk upgrades. Now, the biggest and most prominent upgrade to this version right here is definitely the addition of the smooth tiling on all the outer surfaces of the vehicle mode. But as for upgrades in terms of the vehicle mode, that's pretty much it, because the version 1 actually had all of the details that you see here. It was just missing the tiling. In fact, it actually had more details than this version does here. However, I traded off some of the details in the vehicle mode for a way more accurate robot mode. And that's also why the back portion on this version looks so much more kibbly compared to the back portion on that previous version. Because on the previous version, that back piece was clean and movie accurate. However, this time around, I sacrificed that cleanliness so that Optimus could have some more movie accurate legs in his robot mode. Now, while I would rather have a 100% clean and movie accurate back section, I still really like this aesthetic going on right here because, bro, there are literally toys that look just like this. Like toys where Optimus Prime's legs just fold up and create the entire back section of his vehicle mode. So I feel like it kind of pays homage to the classic Optimus Prime toys that they used to produce. But you know what? Let me know your favorite toy version of Optimus Prime in the comments. And while you're down there dropping that comment, I think it's about time we got into the transformation.
Damn, son, where'd you find this? My name is Optimus Prime. We are autonomous robotic organisms from the planet Cybertron, but you can call us Autobots for short.
Oh no, don't act surprised now. I told you we got him at the beginning of the video. That was literally the first thing I said. I said, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. And here he is, Transformers 2007 Optimus Prime in his robot mode. Okay, now all jokes aside, this has got to be my best version of Optimus Prime yet. Not only is the detailing on this version better than the previous one, but the stability is way better as well. This is actually my first Optimus Prime that does not require a stand to stand upright. Ooh. Okay, now swinging around to the back here, as you can see, we got some pretty damn good kibble management on Optimus Prime for once. And if we take a look at the back of his legs here, you'll see those oil or gas canisters that sit on the front nozzle of his truck mode. And as I was saying before, you see how they make it to the back of his legs and kind of complete the back portion of his legs. So had I transformed this all in one piece, the rest of the truck would have just sat on the back of the legs right here and the wheels would have folded out. So to give you a better idea of how it would have looked had I transformed it all together, just imagine this piece of the truck right here just sitting on the back of his legs. It may not seem like a big deal to have the legs be so bulky, but for me it kind of was because everything else was so accurate that it kind of just stuck out like a sore thumb every time I rotated this guy around. But you know what? Honestly, as I'm recording this video right now, I've just got a couple of ideas on how I could shrink the nozzle a little bit more and maybe I could get it to sit back there when I do my Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime next. So fingers crossed with that idea. Alright, and here we have Optimus Prime with the custom dual arm cannons equipped. And I really like the way these arm cannons look on this guy because they look like official weapons that Optimus Prime could actually sport. They really kind of remind me of like Ironhide styled Optimus Prime cannons, if you get what I'm saying, because they're so massive and they have this ring of barrels just going around the side of them.
You feeling lucky, punk? Easy, Ironhide.
Now, unfortunately, due to the fact that the cannons are so heavy, he can't stand when he has the cannons equipped. However, I'm actually okay with that because he can stand by himself and he can actually stand when he has the blade and the gun equipped. So, still a plus in my book. Hold up though. Speaking of the gun and the blade, here we have Optimus Prime with the gun and the blade equipped. Can I get an Ayo, please?
Ayo!
Now, the gun isn't too much of an improvement over the guns that I've designed for the previous versions, but this blade definitely is. Bro, this is the first time I built Optimus Prime's blade from scratch. All of the other versions I made, I used this bougie looking orange and gray Bionicle piece to substitute it. Now hold up, at the time though, it really felt like that blade worked. But after actually building the blade out and seeing how it pops and looks so much more realistic, I'm just like, yeah bro, I should have did this from day one. But you know what, you live and you learn. Okay, now as for a size comparison, Prime here is coming in at a good 10 inches from head to toe in his robot mode. So he loses about 2 inches when compared to the length in his vehicle mode. And that's really just because a lot of the components from that vehicle mode just fold up and store in different places when he transforms. Now, before we get into Prime's other updates, I want to talk about his last accessory right here, which is pretty much his humanoid looking face. And when I built this face initially for my previous versions, it took so long to design. But now that I have the blueprint in my head already, I pretty much just had to remember how I built it and just redo it. So it didn't take too long this time around. And speaking of blueprints, I'm going to be uploading the instructions on Optimus Prime's human face, the face with the battle mask, the gun, and the blade on Bricklink. So be on the lookout for those in a couple of days if you're interested in building your own Optimus Prime. And just on a side note, you guys know we can't have Optimus Prime without his right-hand man, Bumblebee. So if you guys are interested in seeing my Transformers Dark of the Moon Bumblebee mock, I'll leave the link to that bad boy at the end of this video. Now, hands down, the biggest improvement to this Optimus Prime mock is the fixed proportions. I was looking at that previous version and I was like, bro, this joint looks like a house on legs. Look how big the upper body is. What is going on right now? And then I remember because the upper body was so big, I had to make the legs 2 times as long to counteract the upper body. So the legs ended up reaching all the way under the truck, and the only way to make them connect to the upper body was to use this massive string. Like it was like a literal string of clip pieces to pull the legs from under the truck. Ah, good times, good times. But as you can see, we done leveled up. We don't have any of those shenanigans going on with the construction with this version right here. And as you can see, this version is way more compact looking, and on top of that, we've actually got a lot more details in the robot mode that weren't prevalent in the robot mode in that previous version. So we lost out by having to sacrifice a couple of details in the new vehicle mode, but we picked it up in the robot mode here. So as you can see, we got the dual oil or gas canisters that sit on the upper portion of his shoulders, along with the angled sun visors here. A nicely proportioned and evenly detailed midsection, and lastly some movie accurate and nicely detailed legs along with some fully formed feet, because the previous version just kind of had these stubs for feet since they couldn't really fit so well into the transformation.
Nice.
And that's about it, so stay tuned for Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime next.